Hey, Mavs fans, just wanted to say thank you for subscribing to All Things Mavs. We're a little over 300 subscribers away from hitting that 9,000 mark. That's the next milestone, and I think we can easily get there before the NBA draft on November 18th. So, in honor of 9,000 subscribers coming up, I want to ask you a question that you should know the answer to. Who is the worst Maverick to ever wear the number 9? Only answer this question if you have subscribed to All Things Mavs. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead, hit that big red button, and then let me know. The worst Maverick ever to wear number 9. Hint, hint, it rhymes with Mahjong Mondo. Now, let's get into today's show.
All Things Mavs.
Could Goran Dragic finally be becoming a Dallas Maverick this offseason? According to Bleacher Report, Luka Doncic is ready to start recruiting his long-time mentor, that is, to join him this offseason because Dragic, he's going to be an unrestricted free agent this offseason. And honestly, a guy that the Mavs have already shown interest in the past, and he's already played with the Mavericks' cornerstone player of Luka Doncic, could make a lot of sense for this Dallas Maverick team. Now, I think one of the main things about Goran Dragic is the fact that he's a veteran leader. He would be a secondary playmaker, and the guy knows how to perform in the playoffs. In the regular season for Miami, he was very, very good at 16 points per game, 5 assists, shot better than 36% from 3. But then, when the Heat made it all the way to the NBA Finals, Goran Dragic was their leading scorer the first 3 rounds with 19 points per game, also pulled down about 4 boards, dished out 4 assists, and was still just as efficient from the field. Now, here's what Bleacher Report had to say about Goran Dragic. They said Dragic was nearly traded to the Mavericks last offseason, but the deal fell through at the 11th hour. However, Dallas still needs a proficient secondary playmaker to complement Luka Doncic, and as Dragic is a longtime mentor to the Wonder Kid, their pairing is almost inevitable. Now, they went on to say the Mavericks seem destined to be one of the league's next great contenders, which just gives me chills to read right there, and that'll likely be true with or without Dragic, but bringing in a veteran who can still play and is close with their once-in-a-generation superstar is just a total no-brainer. And you know what, Bleacher Report, you don't get a lot of things right when it comes to the Mavs, but this one you did get right because I do think Goran Dragic would be perfect for this team because a veteran, he knows Luka. Anything to keep Luka happy at this point is what's important, and he knows how to win games. So I'm all in on bringing Dragic, but let me know what you guys think. Do you want him in free agency? Why for yes, in for no? Here's one of the things to remember. J.J. Barea, he's a free agent. Trey Burke, he's a free agent. DeLon Wright, he's as good as gone. And then you got Jalen Brunson coming back from shoulder surgery. You got to make some moves if you're the Mavs. Dragic might be that move. Now let's talk about Dennis Schroder of the Oklahoma City Thunder. Look, the Thunder could definitely be moving on from Dennis Schroder in the offseason. And one of the ways that they could do that is by trading him to the Dallas Mavericks. Fansided went on record to say that they should look to trade for him this offseason. And remember, as a sixth man, Schroder absolutely excelled. And if he should come to the Dallas Mavericks, he would play a very similar role for a team that needs a little bit of a scoring boost off the bench. Another good thing about Dennis Schroder, remember, is he's only got 1 year left on his deal. So it'd be a 1-year rental, and then all of a sudden, you don't have to pay him in 2021 when you're trying to keep your free agency money open for Giannis Antetokounmpo. Now, I think Dennis Schroder should have won that Sixth Man of the Year award for the Oklahoma City Thunder. He put up 19 points per game, also was able to pull down 4 rebounds and dish out 4 assists. Also became a better three-point shooter this year at 39%. So I threw together a trade idea that would make me comfortable enough to offer to the Oklahoma City Thunder and might get it done for OKC as well. I went Dennis Schroder to the Mavs straight up for DeLon Wright, Justin Jackson, and the 18th overall pick. Now, Justin Jackson is no good, but DeLon Wright is a guy that can still help out a team like the Thunder, and we know that the Oklahoma City Thunder want draft picks, and that number 18 pick could be more valuable to them than we think. I actually recently spoke to an Oklahoma City Thunder super fan, and I said, what do you think about this trade? And he said, we're selling anybody with a pulse. So yes, I would do it as long as you give us that draft pick, and if that's all it takes, I think I'm doing it if I'm the Mavs, because I think you go ahead and start Dennis Schroder. You make Seth Curry and Jalen Brunson your 6-men guards off the bench, and now your rotation is a little bit more secure, and you can potentially draft a wing with that 31st overall pick. Your scoring is shored up. You also get a better secondary playmaker in Dennis Schroder. I think this could be a perfect deal for the Mavs if the Thunder are willing to entertain that offer. Now, what I want you guys to do is pick one of the 2 point guards that I just talked about. Type D for Dennis Schroder, type G for Goran Dragic. Either one you want, you guys can decide. Remember, if you're picking Dennis Schroder, you got to make it via trade. If you're picking Goran Dragic, you got to make it via free agency. So what do you want to give up? Free agency cap space or 1-year rental and assets for Dennis Schroder? Let me know in the comment section. And now while you're doing that, I want to remind you about our friends over at Fanatics hooking you up with this sweet deal. Listen, guys, we all got to wear masks nowadays. I know it sucks. I don't want to wear mine, but I do, and I wear the one that I got from Fanatics. It's a great deal at chatsports.com/Mavs mask, and my favorite part is they're machine washable. And when they're machine washable, you got to wear one every day. Throw it in the wash at night. Not a big deal. You get it out of the dryer in the morning, and it's ready to go. One more time, that link is chatsports.com/Mavs mask. They're coming out with new designs all the time, and they are ready to get you all masked up. So go check them out today, our friends over at Fanatics. Let's talk about another potential trade target in Tobias Harris. There was this NBA quote-unquote reporter that quote-unquote reported that the Mavs were looking for a trade to get Tobias Harris. Well, the actual Mavs reporter, that is Brad Townsend, said, that's not actually what's happening. Now, Tobias has 4 years, $147 million left on his deal. Guys, that's a lot of money for a guy that doesn't play defense and really wasn't that good in the playoffs this last season, although his offense from the whole season was really, really solid. I'll give him that much. Now, here's what Brad said, and we all trust Brad Townsend, at TownBrad on Twitter. Great follow. He's the most in-tune Mavs reporter there is out there. He quote-tweeted this guy that was like, hey, Brad said that they're looking to trade for Tobias Harris, and Brad said, no, I didn't say or write this. Please reread my story and don't take things out of context. So Brad shot him straight, and I would show you the other guy's tweet, but he deleted it out of embarrassment once he got basically corrected here. And you look at Tobias over the last 4 years, he's been honestly pretty darn steady. 20 points per game, 7 rebounds, 37% from 3 this year, 20 points, 8 rebounds last year, 19 points and 6 rebounds the year before, and 16 points and 5 rebounds the year before that. My problem isn't the numbers. My problem isn't the offense. My problem is that gigantic contract. It eats up space for 2021, and it eats up space beyond that as well. However, he's only 28 years old, so maybe paying him for 4 years wouldn't be that bad. So here's a trade that I came up with that I'd be comfortable with offering, but I'd also still lean no if I'm the Dallas Mavericks. Tobias and the 25th overall pick this year go to the Mavs, and then the Sixers get Tim Hardaway Jr., and of course, the guys we're always trying to trade, DeLon Wright and Justin Jackson. So now the Mavs get 18, 25, and 31, and they also get to add Tobias Harris to this roster, and he immediately starts at that forward position, and you kind of hit an upgrade at the offensive spot. So you've got great defense in Dorian Finney-Smith, great rim protection in Kristaps Porzingis. However, 3 guys that defensively aren't all that strong in Tobias, Luka Doncic, and Seth Curry. You'd have 3 draft picks to find some real rotation wings that I think would be very important for the Mavs. So this year alone, I like this roster. But going forward, you really limit yourself with the amount of money you can spend if you go out and trade for Tobias Harris. So if you did want Tobias, what would you offer for him? And remember, you're also reuniting the great BOBI-TOBI duo. So let me know in the comment section, what would you actually offer for Tobias Harris? If it's nothing, just type that and let me know. Say nothing in the comments. Let's get to one more little piece of news here, and this one's more about Kristaps Porzingis. We know that he recently had knee surgery on his torn meniscus, and Sports Illustrated talked to an actual doctor about this and what it could look like for Porzingis. Now, he was a little bit more negative, while the Mavs are more optimistic that he will be back at training camp. And here's what the doctor said. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name, but he is a specialist in knee surgeries. He said typically for high-level elite athletes who undergo a lateral meniscus repair, the average return timeline is about 3 to 4 months. So assuming the NBA starts in mid-January, that would have KP back for the start of the season, or at least early on in the season. But the thing is, the NBA is looking to start in December. So if the NBA is looking to start in December and Porzingis could not be ready till the middle of January, you might be missing some time from your second best player who, let me remind you, tore that meniscus in the first game of the playoffs and then went on to average 24 points, 9 rebounds, and shot 53% from 3. I think I'm going to trust the Mavs more on this one, as they are on the more optimistic side, and I do trust that training staff, but it is at least something that I want to keep an eye on. Because if the Mavs miss Porzingis for an extended amount of time, like beyond January, they could be in some trouble in that tough Western Conference, because we all know it's also going to be a very shortened season. We're only going to play about 50 to 60 games this next year if we do start in January. So let's assume they don't have Porzingis. Just pretend they don't have him for an extended amount of time. Where is Dallas going to finish in the Western Conference? 1 to 8. I think they're right now a top 4 team with a healthy Porzingis. Without him, they're probably looking at another 7 seed, maybe even in the play-in tournament at number 8. But make sure you keep up with all things Mavs this offseason and going into next season. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications because, guys, we're putting out a lot of videos. I don't want you to miss a single one, so go ahead and hit that bell so you get notified anytime we post a new All Things Mavs video.